Hey guys, I just wanted to retouch on yesterday. As I stated on the previous video, if you've already watched it, if not, welcome. I'm glad to have you. And I am 25 years old and I'm from Michigan and I'm a cam girl. As I stated on the previous video, I do have my bachelor's degree in psychology. I feel like that honestly has helped me in succeeding with camming because, as I had stated before as well, there's just a lot of mental health that plays into it that I would have never expected. And I don't think this is something I've ever seen touched on YouTube before from my personal experience. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I've never seen anybody talk about that. But I also wanted to go into a little bit more, so not as much about me specifically, but my experience with becoming a cam girl. Obviously, it's going to be a little bit different for everybody. One thing that I kept hearing about is people telling their families, and when I first started, I was like, no. It's like, that's not going to happen. Nobody's going to find me. I don't need to tell my family. If somebody does find me, nobody's going to say anything because they're not going to tell the whole family they're watching porn. I was wrong. I have had multiple family members find me, and I actually, after the first one, I told my mom because I didn't want her to find out from somebody else. And yeah, my whole family pretty much knows. But yeah. But anyway, part of what I wanted to touch down on is, like, of course there are good and there are bad parts of camming, just like every other job. A lot of people, for some reason, are under the influence of understanding that, like, camming and sex work in general is just easy money, and that's definitely not the case. It's definitely a lot of work. Honestly, I do a lot more work than I used to do when I just worked like a 9 to 5. But I mean, I wouldn't change it. I definitely prefer doing this. I like being able to use like different types of artistic abilities and, like, get creative, find what people like and give it to them. But so the good things, of course, I'm gonna do a specific video just on this topic alone. I'm actually probably gonna do one good video, one bad video, and I'll just come up with maybe like 10 checkpoints for each. But for right now, I just did a couple. Some of the good things with camming, of course, are the money. Like I stated before, I was able to quit my full-time job and still be able to make my bills on time, and then still make a little bit more than that. Just from the start, pretty much. I did start, I'm trying to think. So we said I made my OnlyFans around July. I don't know exactly what date, but then I probably started on Chaturbate by the beginning of August. And so now I've been doing this, it's February 9th, so I've been doing this for a minute. The money, the one thing with money is, with camming, you can't let it get to your head, because you can look great, you can look amazing, you can have anything and everything done to you that you want done, and your room can still be slow. And that's the reality of camming, and that's kind of what drives people away from it. But at the same time, you gotta showing up is the only way to make money. So if you don't show up, you are not making money. And I will say, from my personal experience, for my room, I try to do, like, it's only the 9th, so my room's usually slower at the beginning of the month. So I try to, if I have other things that I need to do, or I try to use the beginning of the month if I need to take any days off that I would normally be camming, just because, it obviously makes more sense to work when it's busier. But I'm trying to venture out and get on some more sites. I'm currently only on MyFreeCams and OnlyFans as far as sex work, but I would definitely like to venture out and do some more. But okay, so the good, of course, the money, but you have to take into account the first day that you get on there and nobody knows who the fuck you are. Nobody's gonna give you money if they don't know who you are. that's the reality to camming, and that is why I started camming probably about a month and a half before I quit my job. I will say I kind of quit my job on a limb, but I mean, it's been going pretty well since. And let's see. So obviously, you get independence from camming. You're your own boss, and you get to work from home. These all sound like great things, but they this isn't really the type of lifestyle that humans were meant for. And quite honestly, because like I'm confined to this one room for like almost all of my day by myself. That's not healthy. But in other words, there's just a lot of extra things I try to do to like, get out of my head. Like one thing with me is I recently started getting back in the gym because my health's been better. And they like it, so that keeps me motivated and so on and so forth. Being your own boss is honestly really fucking hard. Like, you have to actually, nobody's on you, maybe bill collectors, but nobody's on you to get you to work. Nobody's like, oh, punch in, you gotta start your shift. Or like with my fatigue and stuff, sometimes I take naps to where like I'm supposed to be streaming, but here I am napping. That happens, but camming kind of made it to where that's acceptable in my life because I no longer have to punch a clock. If I don't feel well enough to be on, I don't technically have to be on. And that's kind of what helps me. That's one thing I actually forgot to hit on my last one, and I meant to hit on it in the beginning of this one, and I fucked up. And it's the one thing I didn't write down. My health issues. So I have a lot of rare issues, which we think all of it stems from this like rare brain condition called pseudotumor cerebri. And it's basically to where my body believes that I have a brain tumor, but I don't. And it just creates too much spinal fluid and it pushes pressure on my spine and my brain. And it's not fun, just like it sounds. But I'm doing a lot better than I used to. And with having this type of lifestyle, it makes it a little bit easier because as you can see, I'm sitting on a rug on my floor, like this isn't somewhere that I have to worry about injuring myself or something like that. And you're your own boss and you can just do what you want to do what you're comfortable with, but also know that the more open-minded you are, the more potential you have and the more money you can make. Okay. The bad. I actually missed one thing. Let me write that down before I forget it because I don't want to start with it. Okay. So when I originally started camming, from my personal aspect, from my standpoint, my views, everything, I would have said the only thing that bad that could have, I'm not even making sense right now, you're gonna say, the only thing bad that could come from fucking camming, to me personally, from what I could see from the outer's view, would be family members finding it. That would really be right. Like some people do block their own state. I personally don't do that just because I find that using your own state actually is beneficial. You are going to run into people, but honestly, even with people being out of state, like if you go on vacation, they go towards your house on vacation, it could happen. Of course, it's lower, but just be safe. I'm buying a gun, be safe. Watch out for yourself. People are weird. That was my second bullet. Public weirdos. I've had a lot of people start acting weird towards me in public. I actually don't really go out of my house alone too often anymore. Usually I'm with somebody. And this is another one that I don't know. I don't want to say I expected it because I really didn't. All I really expected was, if my family found me. As far as like me personally caring. But fuck boys. So ever since I started camming and I've slowly worked my way into actually putting it on my personal social media that I am a cam girl. And I'm happy I have gotten to the point of doing that, because I feel like personally, like, I mean, stuff feels better when you don't have to hide it, but especially when you're actually proud of it. Well, I just think that went really well. But now, even before that, there's a lot of people, random people who hit you up. Yesterday, I had this guy tell me we went to high school together, and then he didn't even go to the same high school as me. Who the fuck are you? And then, like, this guy kept blowing up my phone. I ended up blocking. I was like, what are you doing? I don't even know you. But people just get weird. But I feel like that's girls in general. Like, a lot of guys are just weird nowadays for some reason when it comes to, like, how they respond to you on Facebook. Like, I don't know about you guys, but I have a lot of guys that just, like, randomly call me that I don't even know, that I've never talked to. It's, like, really fucking weird. But, okay. Another bad thing of camming, I actually forgot to write this down as well. You don't get PTO. Working for any other company, you know, you get PTO, vacation time, sick days, whatever. Okay, I got interrupted. So where were we? Fuck boys. People started acting really weird towards me. Like, people who, personally know me, and guys from high school, or even just mutual people of people that know me, started just acting really sleazy and weird, and, like, started, like, just wanting to, like, tell me what I want to hear type shit, and, like, it was just annoying, because, like, honestly, everybody was trying to have relationships with me as I was trying to stay single. But anyway, another flaw to camming is, like I said, it's a lot of work. People don't realize how much you have to actually put into it in order to pull enough money to live. It's a lot more work than you'd think it would be. Okay, and then the last bad thing I wanted to bring up, because I've never seen this brought up on anything ever before, but one of the bad things on my list would be infections. Because, so back when I started, I'm trying to think, I don't know what month it even was. It was a couple months after I started. I ended up getting this infection that I never heard of before. And it was like, it wasn't an STD or anything. Like, I wasn't even really sleeping with people at that time. I was only camming because I was always either at work or camming. And, I got this infection and I went to the doctor. Well, now I finally have myself on a good regimen of a probiotic, a vaginal pH wash, and I try to do cranberry juice at least every other day. I find that helps, because I know one common thing with camming is that girls, when they squirt, they just pee, but I don't squirt. So I end up holding it longer than I should, and UTIs too, obviously, if you're holding it for that long, because I'll be camming for, 4 to 7, 8 hours, and you gotta take care of yourself, because if you don't take care of yourself, then you can't make anything, because I mean, it takes you in order to do this. It takes you in order to do everything. So you have to take care of yourself. You have no choice. But that's pretty much it. That's why I decided to go the route that I did, and I didn't realize this was going to be so short, or else I might have put a little bit more down to cover on this, but that's basically it. I hope you guys all have a great day. What day is it? I think it's like Wednesday, right? But I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you guys soon.